little bit of a hiccup getting started tonight. I believe I was streaming under Morrowind. So let me just take a quick second here to make sure that I haven't... That looks like a VOD. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I also should check that my microphone volume's okay. Looks like it is, but sorry, I should have been a little more prepared getting started, but I got caught off guard. All right, so there's been an update to Phantom Brigade, which means that it's time for us to look at some fancy patch notes after we load into the game. Let's see where we're at. This is the Fight or Flight update. I believe they had teased that this was going to be a little bit more focused on the strategic map, or the overworld, if you want to call it that. But basically, I think the impression that I'm getting from the blog posts and just kind of having played the game for a while, that the tactical side of the game, in addition to probably being the heart of it, right? It's going to be the thing that, you have the shareable moments from. It's going to be the stuff that you kind of talk to your friends about when discussing this game. It's in a good place, and, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be improvements that are made, but there's been a lot of effort that's gone into that over the last little while. Let's read the messages. Welcome to the Brigade. We're excited for you to experience Phantom Brigade and to have your help shaping its development during its early access period. During the course of development, some aspects of the game might feel rough, sparse, or buggy. Every month, we'll release a major update which will include bug fixes, new features, and quality of life improvements for players. We appreciate your patience and feedback throughout this process as we work to deliver the most important features and fixes. From the main menu, check out our early access roadmap to see what's coming next for Phantom Brigade. Reach out to us via the Brace Yourself Games Discord community, or read the latest patch notes for the latest changes and known issues. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to making Phantom Brigade better and better with your help. Seizure warning. A very small percentage of people may experience a seizure when exposed to certain visual images, including flashing lights or visual patterns. These seizures have a variety of symptoms, including lightheadedness, altered vision, eye or face twitching, jerking or shaking of arms or legs, disorientation, confusion, or momentary loss of awareness. Immediately stop playing and consult a doctor if you experience any of these symptoms. If you or any of your relatives have a history of seizures or epilepsy, it is recommended that you consult a doctor before playing. All right, so roadmap. We've gone through November. We're now in December. So Overworld Overhaul 1, mobile-based movement modes, enhanced enemy patrols, Overworld stealth gameplay, and cinematic combat openings. In January, we are getting content pack number 3. So new mech armors, new narrative events, a new map, and quality of life improvements. And finally, there is the forecasted features. So combat replay comes up a lot. I would encourage you all to take a look at the blog post that was released by Brace Yourself with regards to combat replay. It does seem that there is some difficulty implementing it, and it's possible that this may not make it to the 1.0 release of the game. But needless to say, I think the developers are very well aware that this is a highly requested, feature. I think they want it to be in the game. But I will be honest with you. I would not want to see... So, imagine the last few patches. Let's say we had to give those up in order to get combat replay. Would I be willing to give that up? Not really. This game has been getting better and better, and you have to choose where you put your time. So we'll see where it goes. In addition to combat replay, the forecasted features are pilot progression, rival pilots, localization support, gamepad support, dynamic weather, and more. Now, some of this is already changed. So, for instance, dynamic weather was added in content pack number 2. So I'm not sure if this implies that there are further updates that are going to be made to it, or if there's they just need to update the forecasted features section. But either way, that's what the game itself says. But we're not content to just leave it at that. I am going to take a minute, and we're going to look at the patch notes like we always do. I do need a minute to bring it up, though. Where'd you go? It's a shame that we're going to have to mute the music for this, but there is a video coming up, so... Don't worry, it'll be back. I guess I should probably show you the screen though, right? Nope. Try again, YouTube. This looks good. Sorry, I got something tickling my throat. Okay, so one, this looks fantastic. So I have a confession to make. I did get to see a little bit of the new update because a streamer that I really like, Azure Wind, has started playing this game. This might be a little bit because I kept prodding him, but nicely. Actually, sorry, I also should take a minute here. I was obviously talking very favorably about the updates for the game, and that is a genuine feeling. But I should also mention that I was given a key to this game by Brace Yourself for the purposes of promoting the game. So heads up if you're making a buying decision off of that. I do my best to try and get that up nice and early. Although I suppose in this case, if it's a little quiet, it's better, I guess better for me to how do I put it? More people come in and hear that, the better. Anyways, so I did get to see a little bit of some of the features, but I'm really interested in that overworld stuff that I saw, because most of what I saw Azure Wind doing was the tactical gameplay, which looked neat, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time looking at it, and there's definitely new and cool stuff in here. I actually should mention as well, he's streaming right now, so as sad as I would be to see any of you go, Azure Wind is a really, really good streamer, and a bigger streamer. I don't know if that was the case when I first found him, but he has certainly found his audience through XCOM and is doing wonderful work. I think bringing this game to a new audience. So I'm really excited to see him play the game, and I really hope that that more people give this thing a shot as a result of that. So Phantom Brigade is in early access, which means patch highlights. Whole new world, overworld overhaul, part 1 is in. Shot for shot, new establishing shots set the scene. Engine upgrade, we have updated our Unity version. I don't know practically what this is going to accomplish, but I remember I played a game called Besiege, and I think they were using like Unity 5, and then they'd sort of crossed over into, like, that was kind of the last one before they crossed over into sort of this yearly numbering system. And apparently there were some very significant optimizations that came from that engine upgrade. But it did also take a lot of time for them. So one, I can appreciate that this probably was not trivial. But number two, I do know, at least in another game that I've played, moving Unity versions has sometimes resulted in some efficiencies in terms of processing things. And obviously Phantom Brigade has a lot of things modeled. So I don't know whether or not it is. I know Unity, so I've been messing around with Unity a little bit, and even their stable version always seems to get like a new minor upgrade or patch, which you need to need to install and change all the time. It's a real pain. It makes me wonder why I don't use the latest one. I mean, I'm not doing anything major. It's just mostly to see how Unity works. But yeah, again, I think generally if you have a streamer talking about engines, they don't know what they're talking about, and it's very obvious. So I'm just going to say you know, I'm going to guess that they saw some value in doing the upgrade, and generally this team delivers really, really cool stuff. And so I am hoping that it wasn't too painful and that we get, we get some cool toys as a result of it. And finally, the hills are alive with new music and sound effects and more. Phantom Brigade is in early access, which means we are actively updating and adding new content based on our roadmap and your wonderful feedback. As a quick note, Brace Yourself Games will be taking a holiday break starting this week. The next Tactical Tuesday update will still occur as scheduled on January 18th, but may appear lighter as we are taking the time to address a bug backlog and to make less visible changes. So, and as always, the metal arm, which I think was used as a shorthand for Johnny Silverhand when Cyberpunk came out. This indicates community feedback. Overworld Overhaul, actually, here's something we can do. Have a little music. Overworld Overhaul, brand new overworld gameplay. Enemy patrols and convoys roaming the map now detect the mobile base and react. Hostile sites will recognize the base at a close enough range and send patrols to stop you. World Reset. Due to changes in the overworld, saves from 0.13.0 will be upgraded to the new overworld. Inventory, supplies, pilots, and units will be maintained. Any mobile base will be moved back to the tutorial province. Any fully captured provinces will remain captured. Partially captured provinces will be reverted to the enemy, and every entity will be hostile again. Hope reset to 0. Any ongoing overworld actions will be cancelled. Note, there is currently a bug where ongoing workshop and repair actions from 0.13.0 are cancelled when loaded. Units will be fully repaired and supplies returned. We're currently working on fixing this. Thank you for your patience. It's possible that other issues occurred if loading a save from an older version than 0.13.0. We've been pretty good at updating, so I think we're fine. Convoys and patrols. Convoys carrying supplies and loot from one enemy site to another will run away in range of the base. Patrols can detect the base in range and chase you down. Capturing a province will clear out the roaming entities. Convoys and patrols can appear in different difficulties: training, normal, and elite. Oh, interesting. I think there's also something kind of interesting here, right, where you can sort of see them running away. So I think there's sort of something neat about... It's almost... Like, I'm sorry to talk about XCOM again, but it's kind of neat. You can almost imagine, like, that stealth phase at the start. Get yourself into position and then, like, spring the trap on the convoy. That's kind of how I imagine that. Obviously, there's probably a little less strategy to it. It's more just, setting yourself to stealth. But I could definitely see, like, these different speed settings potentially resulting in some neat moments where you're, like, crashing into the enemy and then all of a sudden, oh no, there's a bunch of... It was a trap. All right, movement modes. The mobile base... Oh, let's take a second here. The mobile base now has new movement modes to help chase down or escape from sticky situations. Stealth. The base uses battery power to lower its detection range and hide from enemies. However, this also reduces your base's vision range. Overdrive. The base uses battery power to get a boost of power, decreasing its speed. This increases the base's and the enemy's detection range. Excuse me. The base travels at its normal speed and can recover battery power. Stop stops the base in place. The base will recover battery power. Combat victories will also recharge the base's battery. We drain the energy from our enemies. New VFX and animations have been added to the mobile base to reflect the base's movement, including sirens, workers on the base, and light camera shake. Rain gameplay. Rain VFX on the overworld has been improved and cloud speed has been rebalanced. Some provinces are now consistently rainier than others. That's a neat touch. Weather intensity is more distinct on the overworld and has effects on the player and enemy vision ranges. Clear, both enemies and the base have full vision range. Cloudy, both enemies and the base lose some range. And rainy, both enemies and the base lose most vision. Cloud and light. Fog on the overworld now picks up sun and color, the color of the ambient light. Again, another really cool detail. Day and night lighting is now more distinct on the overworld as well as in combat. Added smaller clouds to create smaller pockets of rain around the map. Wind blows fog in from the coastlines. Snow is now picked up by the wind on the mountaintops. Oh man, they're really, really going all out here. Traveling the overworld. Entity sizes and movement speed has been adjusted to make the overworld feel larger. The base's path is now drawn more directly to the destination. Other overworld improvements. Improved performance where there are many sight/roaming enemies revealed. Updated UI on convoys. They now use hexagon markers to differentiate them from patrols and sights. Sights now have unique icons that can be seen over fog and cloud when zoomed out on the overworld or on hover. Updated various event actions to fit the new overworld, adjusting timers, etc. Establishing shots. So I didn't see Azure Wind start a mission. This actually looked kind of neat in the trailer. Establishing shots. Every type of map now has a unique cutscene showing the battlefield. This can be skipped using escape, enter, or space. And shame on you if you do. Music and SFX. Brand new salvage screen music. Brand new music layers for stealth and overdrive modes. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Not that I'm not looking forward to salvage screen, but new overheat SFX in combat. Added SFX to units walking through rain and puddles. Added SFX to tank weapons servos. Adjusted workshop music in friendly provinces. Added SFX to selecting the base in the overworld. Engine upgrade. The team has been hard at work upgrading the version of Unity Phantom Brigade runs on. The updated version allows us to continue improving the game. Thank you to all our experimental players for early feedback on this. I really do need to go into the experimental mode. I really don't like showing bugs on stream unless like it's sort of known and unavoidable. So I kind of feel like experimental mode might be inappropriate. I don't know. I might give it a try sometime. Miscellaneous. Autosaves before combat are now made when you engage a site and updated when you hit deploy so that all changes on units are saved. Fallback now immediately sends the mobile base back to the mountain base no matter where on the overworld it is. Rewrote descriptions on subsystems, groups, presets, sockets. Please report any typos discovered. All right, that's the one thing I can contribute to early access. And added a loading screen when quitting to main menu. Finally, we've got a number of fixes here. I'm going to try and run... Oh my god. Oh no, sorry. This is a list of known issues, which seems to be covering up... oh, you know what? I bet I know why. Nope. Okay. I'm going to try and read through this really quickly because I have every bit of love and respect for QA. I can, in fact, now say, from direct experience, they're impossibly nice people. But I do also want to enjoy the fruits of Brace Yourselves labors. So, what got fixed? Fixed unit collision and crashing issues, making it possible to crash a heavier unit with a light one. Fixed issues with cloud position on the overworld not saving and loading correctly. Fixed holograms of sites at different levels of intel not displaying correctly. Fixed an issue where impact dust VFX is exaggerated when mechs are jumping. Fixed dust clouds remaining on the map after units have retreated. Fixed shaders on clouds causing holes. Fixed clouds on fog flashing at specific angles in combat and on the overworld. Fixed enemy reinforcement landing SFX being out of sync with the animation. Cameras now centered on the mobile base when the opening cinematic ends. Fixed misty effects appearing in several cutscenes. Fixed an issue where convoys can get stuck in place while running away from the mobile base. That sounds like something that was found in experimental. Fixed combat atmosphere snapping to high intensity as soon as buildings are damaged. Fixed a minuscule amount of in-game time passing when moving from the base to the overworld while paused. Fixed time scrubbing SFX. You know somebody got hit by that, but I never would have noticed that. Fixed time scrubbing SFX on the timeline in combat. I think I might know what that one is. Fixed damage stats of solar burst and sunswarm beam weapons. Display in unit editing now matches the actual damage output. Fixed a gap in the cloud cover at the very edge of the overworld map. Base is no longer invisible when loading a save older than the current version. Pharma event actions can now be cancelled. Fixed settlement assets on the overworld not being properly grounded. Days display in combat intro and overworld UI now begins counting from 0 instead of 1. Village raids no longer occur while one is underway. Fixed wrong rewards on the defector event. Raided villages are now removed from the overworld if the player doesn't get there in time. Oh, sad. Fixed audio cue doubling up when canceling an action on the timeline. I think I've ran into that one too. Fixed pilot portrait not updating immediately when units eject. Fixed, I don't eject, so I never would have noticed. Fixed beam parts not receiving metallic textures in some liveries. Made additional fixes to Bream weapons, specifically Glory Dog, regarding listed damage output versus actual damage output. I wonder if that's something I ran into or not. I remember being a little disappointed by a couple of beam weapons. Fixed time unpausing briefly when opening the pause menu. Fixed time remaining unpaused when opening the pause menu during the tutorial. Fixed convoy holograms occasionally disappearing from the map if they drive out of the radar's range. Fixed workshop and base visuals carrying into the virtual background. Fixed fallback speed being maintained after fallback timer concludes. Fixed rain SFX playing too loudly in the briefing and when entering combat. You can never have too loud rain. Fixed overworld entities being visible in the sky when exiting the base. Fixed an error from engaging with a site after quitting to main menu. Fixed entity selection, SFX doubling up. Retreating from combat with a patrol now properly disengages with the patrol. And I'm going to turn off my screen just in case I have something sensitive on the notes. Nope. We're fine. It's probably going to be hard to read, though. So get rid of patrol. Fixed flickering VFX on vents in the power plant combat mat. Fixed an occasional exception when entities are destroyed. And on that note, we are ready to play. I don't know if this is too loud, but please let me know if it's overwhelming. Back home. Welcome back, Commander. A lot has happened since you last contacted us. The enemy forces have launched a massive counterattack in an attempt to take back our territory. Only the provinces that that were fully liberated managed to hold them back. We're currently back at Felheim resupplying. Let's move out and take everything back from them. The world generation changed, so the game had to regenerate the world in your save. All units, pilots, and parts liberated provinces were preserved. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's move. Warm up the base and prepare to head out. Okay. It's funny, I never realized how kind of flat the clouds look from this angle, but I remember it looked really neat when I saw. I love this detail, how, you don't really see the clouds at a distance, but then you move in. I think they were also talking about the wind blowing off snow. I wonder where that is. We might also have to wait for time to pass. This is such a pretty game. Okay. So we are doing repairs, but I don't believe we need to stay put for that. Let me maybe just take a quick second here. So we've got stop, stealth, standard, overdrive, and retreat. Okay, so these were covered by the sort of the tutorial. Units. Do I have... Yeah, hammer's fine. I think this is what they were talking about with the sun effects. Okay, so the Glory Dog does 150 each. Sunswarm considerably more. I gotta figure out, so I was taking a look in the Discord. Actually, Azure Wind brought me, kind of brought this to my attention. So when it comes to the optimal interval, and this might have been renamed, and I never noticed, but I had kind of always thought, like, this is how long it takes to fire. And so for me, I'd always sort of thought, lower was better because it sort of meant that you could do more in a short period of time. But it seems like I'm not reading that right. So it's like how many times... It can't be how many times per second you can fire it. It's how many times you can fire before it overheats? Maybe? Anyways, I think I'm willing to try the Sun Swarm again, because it does seem to have like a catastrophic number. Now the other thing is that it could be that the Glory Dog is actually the better option, because the damage buildup is longer. So the thing about the Sun Swarm is that this is basically like a machine gun. It's a big long beam for it's a big long duration to like really do all of the damage. But let's give it another shot. I believe we got a bunch of pilots in an absolute nonsense way. So we're good there. I think I was mostly just worried about whether or not all of my stuff was working. And I do need to start, I think I do need to start working on making some rarer items. So I see a bunch of new icons. Now, one small drawback, and I'll admit, it's a minor gripe, but I sometimes feel like the game thinks I'm a bit smarter than I really am in terms of understanding some of this stuff. So, for instance, like optimal interval is something that I don't have a very clear definition for, except sort of like half of an impression from the Discord. Similarly, we've got these icons. So it says reserve camp here, reinforced camp, site, okay, base, village. So like I sort of get a correspondence, but given that this is reserve camp here and this is reinforced camp, so I'm gonna guess that camp basically looks like a little fort here. Well, that doesn't work because this is a base. So industrial site, I'm assuming. But yeah, the icons are a little tricky for me to parse. But I'm also probably going to guess that a lot of this is going to be handled in the final version. Like obviously, if you spend some time working on a feature, documenting it, and then you decide this really isn't helping the game and pull it out, well, now you've wasted the time documenting something that didn't need to be. So. I am, however, going to check the... Oh, does it not report the levels? No, it does. Okay. So we're at 8. So Malmland was 11, 12... Well, this isn't really... Like, it's adjacent, but not really. 17. Oh, man. How brave am I? And I thought we might have had an event. Yeah, I seem to remember... Oh, no, right. It said the overworld events reset. So I think in this case here, I'm going to continue this. So this playthrough, we've been doing something kind of special in the sense that I've been trying to go for the highest level. Oh man, no, it's 19. So Midtball, the birthplace of famous author Mikael Nilsson. Midtball is mentioned 37 times in his opus about a starving writer, Appetite. But yeah, so I'm going to... Oh man, we're actually going to be taking something higher than the capital district. Interesting. But yeah, so that's going to be kind of the game that I play right now, which is to go to the highest district I can and see whether or not we can take the heat. So this will let us charge up the battery. I suppose if I want, I could run the overdrive when we hit the max level. At least while we're going through friendly territory, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to take advantage of what we have. Oh, yeah, I think they were talking about the mech frame being... Well, let me just double check that it's not counting down. I might actually double check the... Oh, nope, I'm just being impatient. Oh, so if I overdrive, the workshop isn't doing its thing. Oh man, what if like the way that this thing was powered? Man, okay. So imagine like if the power. Well, I mean, okay. I guess there's different ways of fuel, but like, what if this was solar powered? So like going into a. going into a cloudy area would lower your battery. I know I can speed up the screen, but I'm going to enjoy the day and night cycles and all of the other details. So I want to be a little mindful in terms of when I'm triggering the overdrive and not. The big worry, of course, is just the edge of the enemy territory. I'm making a lot of noise. But I think we might be able to get it so that we're recharging as we cross the border. Ooh. Marketplace. One of your pilots up front call out to you and tell you that they've gotten some intel on a group selling equipment nearby. If you fancy taking a look. Yes. Where is that location? Okay, I guess that means we gotta head back, but I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to get new goodies. I'm also going to make a small guess that it's going to be a bit of a quieter stream tonight, because I sometimes get the advantage of being like the only game in town as far as Phantom Brigade, but again, I think if Azure Wind's going, Azure Wind, like I said, is a very good streamer and has sort of a bit more of a built-in audience. So if you have any individual questions or that, I totally don't mind speaking to a quiet chat. But if you're looking for sort of the personal attention or have individual questions, now is a great time to ask them, because I should be a little more free to spout out my my thing. But I want to be really clear, like that is not none of that is I've been in a couple of channels where like it's really obvious they're talking about the other person streaming the game and they're not okay with it. Like, if you've not checked him out, please do. Actually, I should do the proper shout out. Please do check him out. He has been incredibly generous with his time and attention, and I was really excited to see him streaming that game yesterday. So if you're a fan of Phantom Brigade, or if you're wanting another perspective, he is definitely somebody to check out. I really like his streams, and I get a chance to talk to him every once in a while outside of the broadcast. So I definitely want to make sure that he's getting the attention. All right, the base slows down next to a small market stall on the side of the road. The stretch of road is quiet, and one of your pilots asks the person manning it, "Do you actually get much business out here?" "Not much," the stall holder says, "but it's too dangerous to travel with my goods anymore. Maybe you can help me out by trading with me. I'll be sure to tell everyone of your generosity if you do." So, good to feel helpful. I mean, I'm not quite sure what market stability does. That might be something that is added later. But, again, it's good to feel helpful. Balakin lost -29 hope. I am hoping... Yeah, okay. So, double negative, so this means it should have gotten some more hope. Okay, I think I said I was going to see if we could... Yeah, I don't think that's just the clouds. I think that... So again, we want to be a little mindful of the potential threats. This is definitely within our ability to take on, though. So now, unfortunately, that little side trip cost me the. Well, I mean, maybe we never had it, but in theory, we don't want to make a bunch of noise across the enemy borders. But This is just a sign of supreme confidence. Up ahead, one of your pilots calls out to you from the front of the mobile base. When you join them, they point at a structure in the distance. See that, they say? It's not on our map. I wonder what it could be. Abandoned storage cache. One of your pilots comes over to show you where the new location is on the map. It could be armed to the teeth with guards, or it might be abandoned. Might be worth the risk, your pilot says. Could have something useful. What do you think, boss? Should we investigate? Well, we're heading there anyway. Okay, well, we're fully recharged, so I do probably need to be a little more careful with my overdrive usage. I'm probably going to want to go more for stealth moving forward, but the big thing is that I haven't seen the consequences for not going in stealthy. So, you know, for me, the way I'm feeling right now, it's very much, you know, oh, so the you know, so the enemy the enemy sends patrols after me when I start showing up to their base. Well, that kind of sounds like it's giving me what I want, which is cool mech battles. This doesn't sound like much of a penalty. But I am going to see whether or not we think differently about the matter when once they start sending the bad guys. So we'll see whether or not we can actually pull off the proper stealth. This is a good practice. So even if it's properly abandoned, well, no, it says that there are soldiers there. So okay, well. Is that a patrol that just popped out? Nope. Enemy squad has been dispatched to investigate. Undefended. Your recon detects movement in the area. Be prepared to take it by force if you want to... oh, sorry, it is defended. Yeah. Your recon detects movement in the area. Be prepared to take the place by force if you want anything out of here. Suit up. We're ready for them. Okay, so I guess the question is, do we go with the team... Whoa, what's going on here with the gavel? Oh, it's because it's a melee weapon, right? So, if I recall correctly, this team definitely struggled. So the question is, do I want to, you know, do I want to go in with something that hasn't necessarily worked in the past and get better with it, or do I go with something I'm a little more comfortable with? One temptation would be to switch the unit out for the hammer. Which is my my big heavy. I don't even remember what I built this torso for. Let's stick with the longbow for now. So, cache raid, smash and grab, most likely containing part subsystems or supplies. It's often possible to secure the equipment and escape without eliminating all the guards. So I think we get to see our first cinematic here. I do like the sound. Yeah, this is neat. I think especially one thing I really appreciate about this is that the maps are really nice in this game, but of course I spend so much time, like I very, very rarely spend my time looking at my mechs like this unless I'm in the, like, I've set up my turn mode, right? Most of the time I'm looking at the game like this, and very often only in the places that are sort of focused on my immediate actions. So for instance, I'm not really going to be saying, I particularly like this tree placement. What an excellent tree. So, being able to just get a chance to have a nice, a nicer, closer look at what's going on, I like it. So reinforcements in 4 turns. I wasn't reading when it said how many mechs are on the field, or enemies are on the field. I'm assuming it's just the 2. So it looks like one of them is firing a rocket launcher. So this thing's compact launcher, which does 588 in a full volley. They've also got a marksman rifle. And their companion has an assault rifle, a shield. That assault rifle does 975 in a full volley, and I need to take that quite seriously. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is try and protect the Sleipnir. So first priority is to protect them. Second is to see if I can get some damage myself. Okay, so we can't shoot through that building. I'm not too worried about the collision right now. Let the enemy waste their time. Okay, so we're okay here. This is an opportunity. Yeah, so staying behind cover. But this should still give me an opportunity to open... Oh, no, looks like... No, that still looks like I can pull off the shot. So the next question is how quickly can I do that again? Okay, so we overheat here. It's kind of doubtful that I'm going to be able to make that work. But what else am I going to do with the time, right? And if I were to just try running forward like this... Okay, so I'd still be doing the damage, and we'd still be creating problems for them here. So this actually makes my life considerably easier. I am going to address the compact launcher, but this isn't... Oh, hang on. Sorry, this is the long range. Okay, that doesn't help me. Well, maybe we just do missile on missile. So I suppose the question here is, where do I think this marksman is going to serve me in the long run? Because they've got a big range, and clearly running into the fray like this is not really going to... It's really not going to get me anywhere I need to go. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start by dashing. Just trying to see if there's a possibility for me dashing to the objective. Let's face it, that's not happening. The other possibility is I could try and stick them on this objective. The drawback is that I'm a long range focused unit here. So that doesn't necessarily help me. But given that I'm going to be walking, I can take my revenge. And hopefully we'll manage the dastardly missiles. Okay, so next thing I want to take care of is the unit that's going to be coming in on my on my Sleipnir. Now this is pretty easy to handle. I really just need to kind of set up and wait. I think I can probably start him on the beam here. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice full duration run on the beam. And I don't see any reason to deviate. I mean, I suppose the other possibility is I could try and angle it. Well, yeah, let's... So if I try and angle it... Oh, no, if I'm angling it this way, then... Yeah, no, my original instinct should have been... I don't like that sweep. I hope I'm not setting myself up for disappointment doing this. We'll see. Okay, so... I'm gonna try and refine this a little bit more. So yeah, basically the plan here is to actually connect next turn after the beam is done firing. Okay, I am okay with where that's going, so... see whether or not I dodge those missiles. It's a little close for comfort. Oh, I'm gonna get... Well, maybe not. Yeah, one of them got me. Not terrible, though. Okay, so they seem to think they can get... Actually, they may get away with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that this attack fails and we're just going to move on to the next one. So that's good because that's going to stop missiles before they hit us. Okay, and then following the missile issue... Oh, sorry, I was wrong. Ah, that's really clever of them, actually. So I'm gonna have to spend some time dodging missiles before I can do anything meaningful on the enemy troops, or sorry, on the objectives. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Again, it's not the end of the world, so I'm gonna run around the side of the building. Nope. I'm overestimating my ability to maneuver. I'm pretty sure I can't make the... yeah. So this may not work, but it's how I can wind up back where I want to be. Okay, we've got our move down for our melee unit. So it looks like the Sleipnir is going to be the target of an attack. Oh, yep. So if I move, I get a little bit dinged. But if I, so I think if I do that, they only get one little shot on me, and then they're done. But I need to make sure I get out of the way, because there's going to be a melee attack that happens shortly after. Okay, so I don't really have a lot of plans for this unit this turn, other than protecting them. Ah, nice. Okay, so the attack stops at the 4.5 second mark. Gives me a chance to have a reply. Although at the start of their turn they're going to be able to fire on me, so I may have some difficulty dodging. So, as a backup plan, let's work out how we're going to handle the bad guys. I suppose the good news here is that this unit's moving in a pretty regular pattern. So the only thing I might want to do differently is make sure that... in fact, I might be able to just get away. Nope, not. Okay, so no crashes. Oh, but I do suffer the heat. Okay. So I'm not crazy about the angles on this, but... Ooh, yeah, actually that's the one time in that move that I don't really want to be doing that. So let's do our best here. I'm not 100% sure how effective this is going to be, but it's what I got with this unit. So, and then I'm going to move in on the objective, because we only have a couple turns before the enemies show up. So lots of stuff going on here. I mean, there is also the possibility that this unit just gets smashed into the wall. But I'm preparing for a situation where this attack fails, and we're about to find out whether or not that's the case. Did not fail. But they are not... They're not completely leveled, so... So I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens on this end. I guess we'll start with Blackbird. And that also doesn't shut them down. This gives us not a great view on the target, but I'm curious to see if any of those missiles hit the building. Nope, we might actually jetpack into them. That was not as good as last time. Fortunately, it's mostly barrier. And this pilot's going to be ejecting soon, so... The drone is a rough location of the crate, but we're going to need another ping to ensure it's picked up. Stay at your location to finish this. So that's going to make life a little difficult here, given that they fired a bunch of missiles at me. And they're also going to be using the... snipe... Yeah, they're going to be using the marksman rifle on me. So I'm going to try and make the most of the time. Okay, let's move in the opposite direction of the friendly fire. Actually, maybe what I can get away with is... I mean, it just tickle them on the edge, so we'll commit a little harder. This is definitely threading the needle, but this'll look amazing if we pull it off. Can I get away with a second one? Not with that heat. And then that sets me up to take the objective. Okay, so missiles are coming in. Can I just straight up jump away? No, so I gotta run. It's a little bit of heat damage, but then I'll run around the edge of the building. Okay, so they might hit their own unit, but I think we're generally good. And then maybe as a final precaution, we'll dash back. Okay, so that leaves us the linebacker. And actually, it's pretty much the same move every single time. So I think my better move is to just try and move here, because that lets me... That keeps me from interfering with my melee unit. Only thing I want to do is try and get there a little faster. Alright. I'm thinking that looks like a pretty good turn there. I guess I didn't do anything with the Sleipnir though. So one thing to remember about the Sleipnir is that they have some pretty devastating concussive damage. It would be ideal to get them shooting this unit in the back, but I think in this case here we're just going to do as much damage. No, hang on, what am I doing? I need someone to take the objective. That's going to be the Sleipnir's role. And I was not thinking. Okay. So drawback with that is I put my Sleipnir in harm's way, so we'll run them to a slightly better spot. Collision, so I want to... Okay, well, we can work with that. I don't feel like I should be getting out of the way for the enemy, but they are ejecting, so this is kind of a Hail Mary. I'll do it, but I'll wait till it's like until allies are clear, because there's really no advantage to putting them in harm's way. Okay, so I'm definitely most interested in seeing how this turns out. The marksman shot into melee into escape. God, that looks so cool to see him see him jump over the bullet. Although it looks like I got tagged by one of my own people. Weapon means business, apparently. So this dash might come a little too late again. I got regen going, but not nearly fast enough. Well, looks like we got hit. Oh, nope. Okay, again, not a catastrophe. They're definitely getting banged up. So certainly more concussive damage than I wanted to take, but I think overall we're in a good place. So this doesn't mean they're out of the fight. They still got 64 left on the arm. But I'm assuming they're gonna... Yeah, I mean... now they're out. So at this point we should prep for the enemy retaliation. I think overall we're doing okay. So reinforcements next turn. We've got the first objective. We're going to get the first part of the next objective. So maybe the question is there somebody who's in a better position to... Not really. So I think we'll walk the marksman up to the top of a building. We will... I'm not crazy about capturing with a melee unit, but I think it's preferable to the slower unit doing that. And then I'm just going to move my slower unit to a more central location. The only phantom here is your disappearing sense of unease as you engage with this charismatic streamer. MC, you know how to make a guy feel good. How you doing? I'm actually going to take a quick second here. Now that somebody's shown up, I'm going to wrap myself in the blanket a little bit tighter. It's getting cold out. I'm probably going to need to step away from the keys for a few minutes in about 10 minutes, but I think we might be able to wrap up this engagement. Well, I don't know if we can wrap up the engagement. We got reinforcements coming next turn, but I think we can handle things for at least a turn or two before I need to hop up. I'll be honest with you, work is... Like, I know I complain about work a lot, but work has really been bringing me down in a lot of different ways. So I wish I could give a happier report on that side. However, that is really the only major worry right now. I actually had a very funny moment with... so I use Apple Music. And I was working on a bit of text analysis, which is... It's an interesting project. It's a little hard to explain. I mean, maybe I can show some of it later on tonight. But I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. I got some really encouraging feedback from a prof who I visited when I went out to Vancouver, and decided to put some time into it. And I broke... Well, actually, okay, so one thing I'm doing... One of the things that I need to do is to load in the collected works of Plato to accomplish it. And I didn't have a problem with the dialogues, but the two long works, Laws and Republic, are a little difficult to parse, as was the letters, which may or may not be authored by Plato, but they're included in the corpus. So I'd kind of put together a little bit of a demo about how I did this, and kind of left it at that. But then I decided, like, well, you know what, I should probably do the laws in Republic tonight. And then, like, I didn't just do that, but I actually kind of solved 3 or 4 like problems that I was having in a much more elegant way than I had before. And I had my AirPods in, so Apple Music chose quite literally that exact moment to play the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah, like the really famous one that you've seen in like 10,000 commercials in like every movie. So the thing is that that's such a stereotype that nobody will believe me when I say it, but it absolutely happened. So that was a fun bit from today. So overall, good. I am trying to focus a bit more on the the good things going on. But work has really been taking some really negative turns lately, so I can't completely ignore it. But overall, doing well, and I hope you're looking forward to. Christmas. Yeah, they're ejecting. Okay, drone is a rough location of the crate, but we're going to need another ping. Okay, decelerating. Let's flank and finish them off. Okay, so 2 more units. We don't know what they're carrying yet. So I have 2 options here. One thing I could do is to move to this area and try and get an advantage. I don't know if the game makes these decisions based on where you are or if it's pre-selected, but this is a really good spot for them to come after me because they're protected by this hill. So like if I was picking a spot to come in, I would almost certainly come in here. But we are going to keep our position. I am, however, going to relocate my bigger unit. And then the Sleipnir is a little bit more of a short-range unit, so... I'm not sure if I have the power to... Yeah, I'm not... not that speedy. What I'm looking for is a chance to get an early hit on the bad guys. So I mean, they're going to retaliate almost immediately, but and the rest I think we're actually just going to stay in place. That's a sniper or a machine gun? I'm guessing a machine gun. Yeah, sniper rifle. Okay, no, so it's not a machine gun. It's a sniper rifle. So they're going to start with a compact launcher on my slow-moving unit. What's this guy packing? Also a sniper rifle, and they want to hurt my Sleipnir. So I'm actually going to get a little reckless here. So we wait it out. And then what I'm going to do here is start... Oh man, they start so fast. So basically I'm mid-jet as they're sniping at me. How much does this... Yeah, this is a pretty serious weapon, so this could kill... Ugh. 657 per shot, it looks like. I'm gonna risk it. I actually want to see whether or not this this has consequences. I think I'm at a point where I need to close the distance and make something happen with these guys. Now, as far as the missiles are concerned, really I just need to kind of stick to my knitting. So we're going to walk up. It's maybe not the smartest thing to do to end the turn on a dash because I don't really have a whole lot to do otherwise. So basically they have a clear line of sight on me as soon as I do this, and I'm not going to be able to shoot at them until the next turn when they might be shooting at me. But I do kind of have the backup of my my marksman. And then I'm gonna jump up to, yeah. So I'm gonna be a little careful of my Sleipnir. They are a bit banged up on their right arm, but we'll bash them. Work unfortunately can be a lot of stress, especially at the high cost of living area like Canada. I mean, there's some parts of Canada that are less costly, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I came to work, and I definitely feel like I'm dealing with an unusual amount of very just kind of petty office politics-y kind of, like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot going on which I don't really have a lot of control over, but really does seem to result in some pretty nasty outcomes for me. So I do need to kind of improve. I basically need to find something a little bit better. But really, honestly, even just staying at this existing position with 7 months, I clear off my debts, and then at that point, I can afford to go take a Starbucks job. I'm not going to, but that's kind of where I'm at. At the current rate, though, I think it's very hard for me to see me staying in this current position because it's deteriorated so quickly, and I really can't explain why. Anyways, I am really curious to see what happens on this end. So they're going to start firing at me. Oh, okay. So it's not an insta-kill. Oh, that one might hit, though. No, okay, that's great news. So yes, dashing while the enemy's trying to hit you at the proper angle. Actually, right angle in this case. Right as in correct, but also as in perpendicular, was a huge benefit. Oh man, I did that. Those missiles work for them. Okay, so let's see who's trying to hit. Okay, they're gonna go for the missiles again. So I'm gonna zag. They're gonna lob missiles at me again. So here's what I'll do. While they're firing them, I'll do... What? So yes, it overheats a bit. Gives me a chance to have my revenge. Okay, so it looks like we might miss them here, so I'm gonna whop them with the axe one more time. 2 more times, even though it generates a lot of heat. I don't think I can afford the heat, actually. Okay, so at this point, what I'm really just trying to do is make sure that I'm out of the range of this sniper attack. That's really early on, actually. I think one of my better moves as the Sleipnir might be to jump forward like that. So I can move up. Get a couple cheeky shots in. And then before they fire again, we duck behind the mountain. Yeah, just in time for that to hit. So I've really been liking how this mission turns out as far as just kind of all of the pieces sort of landing in the right areas. I am going to take a quick second to step away from the keys. I won't put up the break. Actually, I guess I'll put a small break sign up, but it shouldn't be too long. I'm just going to refill my water. I won't run ads or anything like that. I do have the dashboard up, but it's a little early for that. I really just need to make sure that I don't know. I'm letting technology decide when I stand and take care of myself. So see you all in just a moment. All right, sorry about the delay, but I don't think it was too long. So I don't think I was quite ready to commit the turn yet. Let me just double check where we're at. So a little heat damage, but otherwise just doing what we can with the melee unit. Mostly trying to dodge missiles with the linebacker. The marksman. So I didn't do myself any favors here because I've sort of moved everybody back into cover. So I think what I'm going to do with the marksman unit... God. A little sliver I can work with. It's not the best angle, but it's what I got, so... I wonder if I can get some missiles. Not without overheating. Alright, lots going on. Nice, okay, lower body's down. So it looks like we didn't get any catastrophic damage. The laser beam's not going to do anything, but... I am really glad I didn't hit my own guy. Okay, so they're going with the handgun right away. That's probably going to create complications for me. I think probably my best option there is to find... Yeah, I think even if I start right away, one, I overheat. Well, it's my best option out of what I've got right now, and I am sort of looking to preserve the melee unit. Ooh, yeah, that's ugly. Okay, so honestly my best bet here is to... Man, they still want to attack, huh? Alright, well... So that's the left-hand side. That's the okay side to get hit to get hit on. So then what we do here is just set ourselves up for the shot when they arrive in the right place. So take the shots when I can. It's better if I can get them from behind, but not critical. Actually, if I'm waiting that long, I might as well let them... So they're going to try to snipe me here. Oh yeah, I'm putting that straight into the wall. Honestly, my best bet is just to sit behind the mountain and let them shoot laser beams into the... It's like the feeling here from what the game seems to be showing, like that is a solid red line, so it does seem to think they have a chance of making the shot. It's for... Oh, it's because it's the compact launcher, that's why. That'll be interesting. No, it's their primary weapon. Why does it think that... I mean, it could work. So this sniper rifle does 600 in a full volley. So my shield can take it. Obviously, what we're really interested in is what happens to the melee unit, so... That didn't do too much damage. Spoke too soon. Okay, missed with the marksman shot. That's a shame. Okay, yeah, so they're shooting into the mountain. So they're still going strong. This unit, it's not at all clear. I mean, so their legs are banged out, but everything else is actually quite stable for them. So I'm going to continue doing the nonsense that I do with my melee unit, although it's not really having that much of an effect. Like, I think it's just because we're taking on enemies that are very strong for us. So next step from that, I'm going to move off to the side. Once my unit's done their thing. I think it's actually better that I get this beam in than to get a A cheeky little melee hit. Actually, here's what I can do. Oh, no. It's important to keep an eye on that. It's kind of me saying, I'm going to go beat up the one with the handgun now. Okay, so this unit's going to go running around the edge. So our best opportunity to attack them is kind of when they're moving towards us like this. It's not ideal, but it's kind of the best shot I've got. So then the question is, can I get any... Not really. So the thing is, that's really not a good shot for them. Like, so I can just kind of stand my ground and sort of laugh at them for using their pea shooter. And then I just move to an optimal location. That's maybe a little closer to ideal for the... you know what? I shouldn't be treating that with quite as much disrespect. It's like that moves into ideal range at the very end. Well, you know what? It's the same. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a great justification for doing what I'm doing. I just really don't want to be... I really don't want to be dancing around with the enemy units all session. So, maybe I can get a... Yeah, it looks like I can get some launches off. Maybe I can even get a second. Not worth the heat. It's likely that they'll turn around and... Yeah, is that really the best place I can move this unit? Because obviously they're going to want to get in close. You know what? Honestly, just walk it off. If they chase me, then the Sleipnir mows them down. Okay, so... I wait out the attack. Well, the reason I'm not moving is because that's my... Like, that's kind of the best place for me to be right now, so... Let's watch it happen. Nice little crossfire. Alright, so they're going to be crashing for a bit. Whoa! Okay, I clearly did not respect that weapon nearly as much as I should have. Oh, are you kidding me? That was like in the final seconds of the batch too. If I just moved to the left. Oh, that's really frustrating. RL. Okay, so clearly we need the... Like, this is an absolute must. Whoa, no. This is an absolute must. So 50 of that is gone, so we get kind of a free 100. I usually like to take the rares. This is funny. So I know Azure's got a 1440 monitor, which I think he's been taking advantage of. And he didn't seem to have this salvage problem. I wonder... I'm just going to take a quick second here and see... So if I just do the standard scan... Whoa! Okay. Yeah, so that works nicely. Yeah, so it's like I said, I was playing around a little bit with Unity. Like, I know I have a pretty good idea, at least, of what the I wonder if I switch it to windowed, if that... Well, that makes it difficult for me, so we're not doing that. That makes it worse. Okay. So again, my personal request is is information about what my team currently has on the scrap screen. But clearly, I want to get the greens first. And then I guess the next question is, there's some weird, there's definitely some like weird and exotic material. Like even grays at this point are potentially going to be upgrades for me, right? So like this is a level 18 item and we're like level 10. So even being able to equip this blackbird probably means that I'm going to be able to do some serious work. Oh geez, look at that shield. But of course, for every choice I make like that, it's potential scrap that I give up. So, not that I really need the scrap. Okay, that costs 10 and 5. So I guess I can steal the 1. Oh no, we still don't make that work. Excuse me. Oh, it used to tell me a total of the scrap that I'd be taking away. Does that not do that anymore? I'll take the game's word for it. Locked up tight. You arrive at the marked location. You send a pilot to scout the place out. No sign of anything, he says when he gets back. The building is just up ahead, but it's locked. Looks like it was wired up with some kind of alarm. How do you want to deal with it? So we can use force. It'll take some time, but it'll stop the alarm. We can use tools. It'll be quick and risk-free, but you'll lose supplies or leave. Is it really worth all this fuss? We do have a patrol that's on its way to us. So in this case, we're going to use tools. Unlocked. Now that the situation is... that the location is unlocked, you can salvage whatever is inside. You approach the treasures with caution, but the coast seems to be clear for now. What do you think we should do, boss? When your pilot says. Looks pretty juicy. You can dispatch a salvage team to the site and recover any usable parts and supplies. So I'm going to go to stealth mode for a bit. Because they did say they distributed, or they sent out a patrol. It's maybe not so clear where the patrol is, though, so... Oh, but I can't repair my units in stealth. Okay, so yeah, we gotta go... And the rain's coming in. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it if I did a fight in the rain, but... Yeah, they found me. At your order, the base flies into action and prepares for a fight. An engineer spins towards the bay to check on the guns, passing a scout relaying combat data through the radio. They're shouting everywhere. At your side, someone's leg bounces up and down, boot heel tapping on the grate. I really like that detail. Hey, Index Gnome, good to see you. Quite all right with the lurking. I'm guessing I don't actually have the numbers up right now, but I'm gonna guess it's a little thin right now, just due to a very deserving but much larger broadcast. It's at least usually how this stuff tends to turn out. But I am used, well, not used, but like I actually don't. I'm one of the people who doesn't mind just kind of actively talking, even if there isn't an active chat. So, by all means, please lurk away. All right, we're gonna suit up. So I guess the question now is, do I want to, like, what was I convinced enough by the linebacker's performance that I say this is the, this is the unit that I need to have on the team, or are we in a situation now where maybe I want to try a different mech? So for instance, the Stalwart is still a good one. The Hammer is one I really like. Actually, you know what? Let's play with the Hammer again. It's a bit of a risky choice, but I just want to equip a pilot. Okay, but we are going to take a second here to review our units and customize what we need. Although I'm gonna do it the right way. Maybe I'll go back to my old pattern of looking at the lowest level. Well, they're all low level. So presumably the Gavel has it's got its stuff back. So yeah, I suppose in this case here, if we can equip it with a better arm, we should always try and do that. So slightly better structure and heat dissipation, but bad on the integrity. I think it's pretty clear we're not going to get any extras out of that. No point in checking the left arm. So we do have a Saber. It's apparently got an improvement to... So the big question here... they're both concussive. I do like that this Saber is lighter. The only real worry I have is that it may not... Like, I don't really have a frame of reference in terms of what the expected damage between the two items should be. So we'll give the Saber a try. I think it's worth... experimenting, but I am at a little bit of a loss as to how I would justify the move. Okay, so this is what we looted off the bodies. Mass is worse though. That's surprise. Oh, I bet I know. No. Okay, it's just the mass modifier. So I did get a little bit of speed back with the. I did get a little bit of speed back by switching weapons. But I don't know. I feel like we have better options. So we've upgraded the Gavel. It didn't really seem... Well, the Hammer might take advantage of that upper body. So the big problem with the Hammer is it's just too slow. So I really don't want to be improving the... I really don't want to be boosting the mass unless I have a really clear game plan. So currently got a charge core on it. I feel like we could do better for some of the extras. You need to keep the family company at least for dinner. That's definitely good. I mean, like I just live on my own out here. Like my family's kilometers away, so you know, that's not something you want to take for granted. So please do keep them keep them entertained. All right. So the power on this is good. Let's just take a quick look. So current speed is 1071. Yeah, so because of the power boost, we actually have a faster... It's faster for this this mech, so that was a good call. And kind of important. I mean, the one worry I have would be the arm. Because this thing, you know, we put skinny arms on it so that it can, you know, it can have good heat dissipation and such. But like the fact of the matter is, this thing is slow. It, you know, burns a lot of energy, or it generates a lot of heat. It's, you know, it's just tough overall. So we're obviously not going to change that weapon. Nothing for the left slot. So yeah, the only thing I would change would be the right arm, which I don't want to change to. So hammer time is over. So normally I'd move on to the Sleipnir, but the longbow... Well, maybe I want to switch out the longbow for something else. Maybe we equip the stalwart? I mean, I should want it just because of the design. Okay. I mean, it's better concussive. I don't like that optimal range, though. We have more than one blade. Okay, I'm going to have to double check what's going on with these blades. Do you want that arm? Nope. Almost certainly don't want this. Oh yeah, definitely don't want that body. Okay, nothing too exciting really. Let's just see if the gavel... Okay, so currently we've got this rare saber, which is incendiary, concussive, and has an effect. Oh, hang on. So I was using the spike before, destabilizing, concussive, and mass. And then there's the tear. Okay, so what gives? Why did I think this was better? Destabilizes targets. Each hit reduces collision resilience, allowing lighter units to tackle destabilized heavy targets. Enough hits can crash an enemy outright. So whacking them with the spike is still the right call. Well, you know what? I am going to try the saber for one round, because we already showed that we don't need to knock down enemies to cause them misery, but this may not be a permanent configuration. Okay, facility liberation. Civilian facility, while it is not enforced, units that guard it may be more challenging and will often call for reinforcement. Well, it says, I think it should be reinforcements, but I'll put it in the notes. Okay, so we can see a sniper already. Yeah, it definitely looks really cool when you've got mechs on the ground. So at least 4, possibly more? Oh no, maybe it's 3. Command, rebel units just entered visual range. I'm outnumbered. Requesting rapid response. I don't think you're outnumbered. Apparently math's not the strong suit for the occupying forces. Okay, so we've got a tank with an autocannon. It's actually already quite close, so that's going to be a worry. Marksman rifle and a handgun. So as long as as long as we mind our distances, we should be okay against that one. Another marksman. This one's also got a compact launcher, so I want to be careful there. And it's not, okay, so it's team sniper. Reinforcements in 3 turns. Let's see who's getting targeted. Okay, so 2 on the melee unit, 3 on the melee unit. Well, it gives me time to set up and let her rip. I gotta find someone who's a good target. Oh, that's the only target. So if I did this... Oh, actually, that lasts the whole turn. Okay, yeah, I totally got to do this one. Okay, so that causes me to crash, so I gotta take the long way around. So there's the mild concern that I am drawing fire to the unit firing with the Vulcan, but I don't think I have a good answer for how to fix that. Okay, so we'll just stay behind our hill, and then we'll creep up on the tank. So assault rifle next. It might be an idea for me to, you know, I think I'll hold my distance where I can. I'll take the shots that I can, but I think I actually want to put some attention on this tank. I might be able to get away with the third. Not really. What about short range? Yeah. I think I sort of tickle things just to the end. Now, on its own, I should be a bit worried about where I'm putting the Sleipnir. Hey, Salvage Drifter. No, so they finished their year of exclusivity with Epic. Now, unlike Industries of Titan, I believe the intention here is to have a 1.0 release on Steam. And there was a blog post recently about the current state of the game, and like generally the game is in a good place. I think the only potentially disappointing news out of this was that the replay feature is proving very difficult to implement, and so may not be ready for 1.0. But this is basically the early access version of the game. It gets a pretty substantial update every month. They are kind of signaling that with the holidays and some focus on bug fixing, like the next update might feel a little more minor, just because you don't always get to see stuff going on in the background. But yeah, I mean it's early access. Whether or not that counts as an early alpha, I don't know. Like I really don't know what the formal usage of these names are anymore. But you should be able to wishlist it on Steam now, and when it goes to 1.0, I think that will mark the release. And in this case, I suspect they've been a little reluctant to give a proper release date, just because the game keeps getting stuff added to it. It's getting better, but I suspect that people will only wind up disappointed if they want to spend some extra time, finishing some of the stuff that they have in mind. But I think it'll probably be available. See, I was gonna say sooner than people think, but if I say that, like, like everybody might have different ideas as to what that means. But I think the game is going to be. I think the game will probably be. Like I don't think we're looking at like a 2023 release or anything like that. But again, that's purely my speculation. Okay, well, clearly that's a dumb thing for me to do here, so I want to wait out try and get a slightly better angle. So if I go here, it's not as aggressively targeting the Vulcan. I am going to make sure that I'm set up for protection. Okay, that works. So wait it out just so we don't do their work for them. That doesn't work, but that does. Man, we're really piling it on this guy. I'm managing. Work's really been a drag, so it's hard for me to say I'm like 100%, but I did get a couple of good things in, sort of for my personal stuff that I was really encouraged by. And the Hallelujah chorus started playing as soon as it as soon as it got done, which like I genuinely laughed out loud when that happened. So it's hard for me to say things are bad, but I basically just need the work situation to like lay off for a bit, because it's been like aggressively bad for the past few weeks. We'll see. Tomorrow, maybe it'll improve, maybe it'll get worse. I'm not sure, but it can't get worse on Friday. So I just need to hold on for those 48 hours. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all looking forward to Christmas. I don't really have any big plans, but that doesn't mean I can't get excited for everybody else's. Okay, we're definitely going to do this one. Well, we'll do this setup a little bit slower, but... Oh man, he got right into that. I loved how that looks, how he just jumped up and started wailing away with the... I forgot this thing was elevated. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Salvage Drifter. I'm glad you get the holiday off. This thing's quite resilient. Like, no concussive damage. We're just tickling the barrier. This thing's tough. Like, all of this is barrier. Okay, now we're hitting metal on the tank. Yeah, like, I would have assumed this pilot was in, like, a massage chair, basically, from what the Vulcan cannon should be doing to him. Just shrugging it all off. Oh god, we signed ourselves up for some hurt. Played other tacticals. How does this measure up to XCOM likes? I'm a huge fan of tactical style games. The better comparison for this one would be 1 part Frozen Synapse, and that's just because of the setup that you're seeing here of sort of like your planning phase and getting a chance to so. The bigger thing for me about Frozen Synapse is more of a feeling. So the idea of the satisfaction you get of seeing your plans play out. The thing about this game, though, is that you have perfect knowledge of what your enemy is going to do, whereas Frozen Synapse is the opposite. You have to anticipate what your enemy is going to do. And so in this particular case here, I would say that gameplay-wise, it compares better to Into the Breach, which is almost kind of this little puzzle. As far as it, actually, Night Valiant's been doing really doing really good stuff with it, and it's even then a really nice thing about the comparison with Into the Breach is that very often some of your best tactical choices are going to be ones that are they rely on you interrupting the flow of combat. Hey, there you are, Night Valiant. So for those of you who would like to see someone who's still working on his first victory in Into the Breach, don't watch Night Valiant. But if you'd like to watch someone who does a great job with that game, among many others, I would highly recommend it. He was in fact playing Front Mission. So apparently Azure Wind knows Front Mission and Night Valiant knows Front Mission. I only ever heard of Front Mission because of... I've only heard of Front Mission because of Phantom Brigade, and then seeing him play it. Really? I'm pretty sure that it's a necessary condition that I be unable to see your victory. I specifically make sure that I have like a little desk set up just outside the toilet, so it looks like if you're getting to the last mission, I just quickly run and slam the... Oh, they were not brought to the... Okay, well, that explains it. I mean, I also, again, I just have big gaps in my my gaming sort of history in that. But so in this case here, right, like I have knowledge of what the enemy is going to do, but like so like this guy's caught in a crossfire now, right? Well, if I were to take well, actually, I guess this is the big shielded unit. But like, let's say I had an even bigger, tankier shielded unit, like, and I ran someone in front, then clearly that's not going to work. If I do something, like if I take a shielded unit and run it straight into the tank, again, that tank is not going to be in a position to actually perform its various actions. So it's a bit different in the sense that while it's a turn-based game, all of the action is simultaneous. That's where it becomes similar to not Phantom Brigade, Frozen Synapse again. But I mean, the most honest thing I could say is that Phantom Brigade is very much its own game, and sort of the purpose of these, these comparisons is really just to try and help people with that big question of, is this game for me? And, I'm a huge fan of XCOM. I really liked BattleTech, the Harebrained Schemes one. Well, I like a lot of the BattleTech games. I even like MechWarrior Online. I'm not 100% sure. Like, the monetization strategy for it is a bit aggressive, but like other than that, I am not too upset with how that game goes. It's also a Vancouver game, so. But yeah, no, I mean, other than that, I have not beaten XCOM 2, but I really like XCOM 2. Really liked, both for Axis X. Sorry, all three for Axis XCOMs. Yeah, I mean, I really have not found a style of this game that I haven't enjoyed playing yet. So I'm trying to get a little bold here. This is like either going to work brilliantly or I'm going to look like a clown. Let's try and make that. Yeah. It's already out, Night Valian. I know what you mean, though. I mean, theoretically, this hits all three, but I'm going to properly cut it up, so... I really need to make sure that this one works, because I don't really get a second. I really don't get a second attempt, and I really do want to see how this sword works. Okay, so does anybody actually hate the? So it's like, even though this unit's standing in the middle of the area, nobody's actually attacking them. So I mean, I'll use it to my advantage for sure. Let's build the turn around. So one thing is because there's so much barrier, and because we seem to be doing so little damage to our targets, I want to make sure that I'm very focused on what I'm trying to take out. So with that in mind, let's move... Actually, this is a great little spot. So in this case, we've already been sort of hollowing them out a little bit. So I'm not crazy about the fact that I'm going to be firing into my melee unit, but I can't really... Well, I guess I can delay it a little bit. So when do I get to shoot again? Okay, well I only get 2 shots with them, that's fair. I think I'll try and move it a little... So again, I'm not crazy about this because it does cause me to heat up closer to the end of the turn when I might be trying to sort of dash away. Next thing I got to worry about. So This unit's going to be turning its weapon on me, and it is the marksman rifle, so that's going to do some serious damage. Even if I put up my shield, it's going to take about half of the shield away. But the next challenge I have is that this unit's sort of suppressing me, right? I'm relying on the hill to sort of keep me safe. So I think my best bet is to just walk it back. I can't even really dash until later. So to a certain extent, it might just make more sense. Like there's gonna be some damage that I wind up taking, but at the very least, I can sort of move out of immediate danger. Sort of doing this. It's low chance, and it's targeting. I don't feel great about it, but it's a shot I can take, and it's not that much further into my... Actually, you know what? I'll make sure I'm not walking. And then obviously I'm going to have to dodge away from the... Unlike someone, I'll make a bazooka-only team. It's really hard to do all-missile teams on this. I will, but I'm trying something a little different right now, Night Alien, so... Bazooka was the old system, Chalk. Now I'm talking about how these games are for smart people and other various trolls. Okay. So we obviously don't care about the missed shots. We want to make sure we're protected from what's about to happen. So it actually looks like I might have been able to have dashed away. All right, big play's about to happen. Complete with appropriate soundtrack. I should have taken the opportunity to see if I could get them to fire in the back of their own guy's head. That was a big mistake on my part. This is like the Jason Momoa meme. Oh my god, we are keeping this weapon forever. That's ridiculous! Okay, something broke. Oh man, from one good track to another. Okay, so scouts ejecting, assuming that they don't get obliterated by the melee unit. This one might be on its way out, but I think we need to seal the deal. This unit's still trying to take its shots on the machine gunner, so I am going to reply with a big angry gun. No, I'm not. Now I'm going to reply with big angry gun. No, I'm not. Ah! What's going on here? Okay. I'm probably going to regret doing this because I'm like a prime target. Oh, but he's starting his... Ah! Oh, we are going to ruin his day. Okay. Okay, so heat's starting to be a problem, but I'm going to live with it. Now, I seem to recall seeing some rockets fired. Is that still a thing? There's a lot that happened here. Oh, by the way, Salvage Drifter, if you are like if you have specific questions about like the gameplay or what I'm doing, I sometimes take a little too much of the game for granted on my part. So if there's something that could use an explanation that I haven't explained yet, please do feel free to speak up, because I definitely like sort of giving my reasoning when I can. Okay, that's a pretty clear shot. If I can just get a hair sooner. Ugh. It's sort of like leaking into the next turn, but not really. So that's basically a full run of the machine gun at full capacity on them. So I'm sort of violating my principle of focusing on one target at a time. I still want to see what this... I kind of want to see what the melee unit does on its own, though, so... No, this will still work for us. Oh, no it won't. Okay, that was going to get very tragic in a second. I wonder if this is... I don't know if that's a bug or what, but he seems very indecisive. I don't think I want to keep overheating my... Well, no. Okay, come on. Let her rip. I even get a chance to... Oh, do I? If I do, I gotta do it right at the start. Nope. Yeah, I don't think that works at all. Okay, so everybody's locked in. Let's watch the magic. And my own worst enemy here with the heat. I think they said there was some sounds. You can still see the shimmering. I guess we can speed it up while he bounds. this timed right? My only fault was doubting myself. So we might be able to get an intact mech here, depending on how much extra concussive damage we can do. Then again, I think I did commit to making them miserable with the Vulcan. Dropping in. Command is getting impatient. Let's get this over and done with. Okay, so they're more or less recovered their concussive. So, how much does this handgun do? What?! $924 damage? I'm gonna lose this gun. Like, there's no avoiding it. Oh god, yeah, everybody wants a piece of me here. Okay, let's get out of here. Has it really been an hour? Oh my god. This game really flies by fast. I may need to take a minute to kind of recharge. I know I'm overheating, but we've got reinforcements arriving. Should actually get an idea. Okay, so I gotta do something to protect this unit, like anything at this point. So I know I'm overheating. I want to fire as soon as this becomes viable. Okay, so we get 3 in that case. I still think this is gonna... I think I'm still in for a world of hurt on this unit, but... Yeah, so essentially this move here, like onto this roof, gained me absolutely nothing and potentially cost me my weapon. So, let's see if I can make the most of it by just continuing to beat the crap out of the enemy mech. So in this case, I'm just gonna sit and wait. Really? Do you need to be down to... Man, I guess they really need to be down to 0. I was kind of hoping I'd get a little bit more... A little more action. Yeah, man, we give them so much time that they walk away. So I think a little surplus heat is unavoidable here. I don't really know what we're up against here, so I think as a precaution I'm going to move back behind the hill. Okay, I'm going to take a slightly longer break. And again, sorry for those of you who just came in, but I'm going to... again, it's partly just the making sure that I'm getting up and moving and allowing technology to to tell me to do that. I'm going to run ads this time, so please, if you have not done so, grab yourself a water or get up and stretch or otherwise take care of yourselves. If you don't have an ad blocker on, for God's sakes, get one. But I will be back in probably like 2 minutes, and then we will see how this turn turns out. See you in a minute. Well, minute or two. All right. Hopefully that expels pre-roll ads for at least half an hour or so. And what do I want to be looking at for? I guess we kind of need to see how things turn out with the Vulcan first. Oh, not today, my friend. I'm getting some pretty wicked damage from the heat, but worth it. So we should see the Sleipnir coming around the corner and delivering some pain. Oh, there's so much happening. 98 concussion. We're gonna take this guy down. I know it. Off the board. Okay, what are we up against? What in heaven's name is this? Oh, that's probably with them landing. Okay, so possibly an assault rifle. No, that's a beam weapon. That's almost certainly a beam weapon. And I'm not sure enough to say what that is. Command of the base is circled around to the perimeter. We're ready to pick up the squad if needed. The enemy will hold the site if you do so. We are... You already saw from the title. This is the fight or flight update. We do the fight option, always. So this should knock this unit out from concussive damage. Oh man, I might be able to get away with doing something really cool in a little bit. Let's make sure we track them. Oh man, I don't know if that works. There's definitely a way of angling this so that I get both. If I do it like this, I can get the one. So clearly I just need to wait in a slightly different spot. Okay, so here they clip me. That's no good. Man, I always just keep missing them at the end. Okay, so here's the alternative I'll consider. Again, I want to make sure I don't get clipped by their weapons either. Oh wait, was it really as easy as that? But then I don't get them this turn. Okay, so... feel like I'm so close to delivering on this. This has got to hit him. Yeah. Okay. So next question is, how can I best use... okay, they're going to keep... They actually really focus... Well, no, only one of them's focusing on the Vulcan. So I do need to respect the sniper for the first little bit of this. Sorry, I gotta remember what weapons I'm up against too. Or not remember, I never... Okay, plasma repeater, that's gonna be dangerous, and shotgun. Okay. So what this means is I run around the edge of the building, I hop up, and at long last, I let her rip. Okay, now I gotta get my Sleipnir out of the danger zone pretty much immediately. I absolutely cannot afford to risk a sniper shot there. But I think I'm more or less safe like this. Yeah, I'm covered by the building the whole time. Oh, I'm better still. Well, that's not relevant because that sniper's not going to be active anymore. Well, now I need to hope that they're not active anymore. But I do get to have a bit of a crossfire on the enemy units. And then nobody's paying attention to the machine gunners, so we'll just quietly walk up and do our thing. So I'm pretty worried about the shot. Like, you'll notice that a lot of the attention's going on the shotgunner. It's just because that there's the likelihood that they're going to get in too close, and I'm not going to have a good reply. So just being able to take them out early is the ideal. So we are gonna start with the fireworks. Remember, if this guy isn't knocked out, we are in serious trouble. Okay, cool. So almost no concussive damage. This thing is terrifying. Sweet mother of pearl. Like, that was the entire team shooting him down. Okay, so the plasma repeater's focusing on my melee unit. I may not be able to have them in the fight. So I can't move forward. I'm gonna get hit by the Vulcan. So in this case, probably best to just wait it out. Actually, no, we're just going to stay there. Or are we? No, it looks like I'm going to be able to clobber the... I mean, not that it's going to make a huge difference, but... Yeah, so they're going to want to shotgun the Sleipnir. Fortunately, the Sleipnir can run faster than than they can move. So once that threat's gone, I have an opening. And then for the melee unit, again, I'll take the opportunity where I can. So once this ceases to be a threat. Actually, you know what? I could probably get away with something a little sooner, like this. Yeah, so the only problem with this is that I'm wide open for a shotgun reply pretty much immediately. Okay, so let's just see the mechanics of that. So we go, whack them, come back. Okay, actually that works really well because the attack from the Sleipnir starts roughly around that time too. Okay, now the Vulcan apparently is spoiled for choice. This is not really going to be all that effective because it's it's sort of limited in its range. But, I mean, what's my alternative here, right? If I hit on this guy, then I'm just going to drill into the wall. I'm actually very surprised that this doesn't generate more heat. I always get in trouble when I go on high. The problem with this move is that they've got a plasma repeater with my name on it while I'm still finishing the shot. The good news is that I can pretty quickly turn left. So I am sort of breaking the principle that I've been holding, which is to focus down one target. You know, again, we saw just how much this thing ate up. But I don't know, like I don't really see a lot of value in trying to manipulate the whole team around taking this one unit. So we'll do what we can. If we can build up the heat on them through the, you know, the melee weapons, so much the better. And we'll see what the next turn brings us. That's 1509 damage. Okay, they're ejecting, so we've got one target left. Okay, so they're going to focus on... Actually, that's a really smart move on the Vulcan because it's not going to be able to escape. Oh, okay, I get lucky. So they might be able to get a shot midair. But, yeah, just put a bit more building between me and the enemy. And honestly, if they're just going to stay put and let me open fire on them, who am I to turn down the opportunity, right? Am I still able to get a shot? No, it's too low. And that takes too much effort. So my next best would be to jump up on here, but do I still have enough heat left? Yep, I do. Gives him a new thing to target, I suppose. And then this is just really a matter of getting the angles with the Sleipnir here. Okay, too hot. We don't really have a lot of concussive damage on this unit, so I think it's probably better that I keep the melee unit in reserve. I think... Well, hang on. Let's see what we can do. So if I move in like this... I don't really want to generate any more heat damage on myself. Yeah, so the problem with this is that it's in the way of the... So, like, in principle, yes, I'd love to do a melee attack on this unit. In practice, I get in the way of the Sleipnir. It's while all of my units are kind of doing their... They're, like, doing their thing. It's really hard to justify that particular move. So we might take out the legs, but let's just see what the next turn brings us. Cool. Level 18 region. So we should get some good scrap out of this. Oh, only one intact? I thought the... Oh, two. So, I mean, this doesn't spark joy, but we'll grab it. Okay, so 55 for the new stuff. Maybe grab some of the weapons. And then I think the rest of it we're just gonna scrap. Jesus, 85? I could try and grab his plasma repeater now that I think of it. Ransacked facility. Your base stops near a civilian facility. There are tens of workers gathered outside looking distressed. You and your pilot approach one of them. There's a base with soldiers not far from here, one woman tells you. These soldiers have taken almost all our supplies. We've lost so many days of work. You look at the broken windows of the factories, the tank tracks and the dirt. They've clearly been taking them by force. Will you help us? Please. We'll have to shut down the whole factory without our equipment. So, yes, we can't let them get away with this. So, before we do anything else, let's see where this event... Ooh, okay. So that's actually right in the middle of the patrol, which is kind of hunting after us. So I think the first thing I want to do, I am going to stay standard, because we need our repairs. It's actually it's a really neat trade-off, where apparently if you can't repair or, like, build stuff while you're in stealth mode, it definitely makes for a neat little cat and mouse game. But in this case, I'm going to take advantage of some recharging and sort of move around the patrol. Okay, so it looks like I'm out of their vision range. The smarter thing for me is to actually... Okay, no, they're properly patrolling. So I'll go to stealth mode if they turn back. So yeah, I'm definitely really getting to appreciate the... This is a really nice effect too, like the way you're seeing stuff move inside your vision cone. So I'm definitely into the updates of the on the overworld so far. Encoded signal. You detect an encoded signal emanating from somewhere in the province. We could probably decode this if you think it's worth the trouble, says one of your pilots. But we'll need to stop and triangulate the source of the signal. Oh man, do we have 3 hours to... Yes. If this patrol comes back, though, we're in a bit of trouble. I'm wondering if this is a bug or if this is just part of the holographic effect. It's kind of hard to... Like, it doesn't necessarily look out of place, but it also seems to flicker just fast enough that it may not be intentional. Decoded signal. There's a whooping victory from one of your pilots. You and your squad gather around her, bathed in the glow of the yellow screen she sits in front of. I think that's done it, she says. She looks back to you. Take a look, boss. Looks like we got ourselves a defector. Is that right? Says the pilot beside you. Yep, and they've got some valuable intel for us. Could be bogus, but this intel, if this intel is really valuable. Okay, so which is the... That's on our way, but we're going to take care of the Spec Ops base first. Okay, well, there's that patrol we were looking at. Oops, stealth mode. Don't let him see us come until it's too late. All right, well. Gear up. As at your order, the base flies into action and prepares for a fight. The engineer sprints towards the bay to check on the guns, passing a scout relaying combat data through the radio. There's shouting everywhere. At your side, someone's leg bounces up and down, boot heel tapping on the grate. You feel eyes on you, awaiting your command. Okay, so this is a patrol skirmish. Interesting. I thought I'd made it to the base. So I wonder what the job of the electric smoke is then. Because we didn't even get the option to run. I think in this case we're going to switch out the hammer. It was not quite mobile enough. I think we'll actually just bring the lance back in. What am I doing? So yeah, the lance and the stalwart should be an interesting, beefy couple. One small problem I have with this is that we are really in, like, we're in over our heads, so it's not necessarily true that we're actually going to be able to sustain the kind of damage. Like, the lance is a bit of a brawler. Actually, with that in mind, maybe we bring the linebacker in. Okay, and following the tradition, we will equip the lowest level with the new stuff. Okay, so that's got a handgun. That's not quite what I need here, although let's look at the stance. So the stance is better integrity and barrier, even though it kind of has like a small defect on it. The only drawback is it's heavier, and I'm already at 844, but I think desperate times call for desperate measures. So let's see if we can lighten things up. So in the right slot, I don't think we have anything we're too interested in. I suppose I should try the Glory Dog again at some time, but I'm willing to give this beam another try. Right arm. We really don't have a whole lot. Oh man. It's a good Nox arm. Yeah, let's go for it. Gotta change the livery, but... I mean, the total survivability is considerably better here still, so... And actually, these legs don't look too bad on their own. Oh, it's because of the lights. So, we are going to change the livery again. Nope, wrong one. Sorry, I didn't see its speed. 1336, that kind of puts them in the ballpark with my people. Wow, they're level 14 now. Okay, so Gavel gets the next one. We did just unlock a couple parts. So actually, this one uses a handgun, so in this case, the Spark... Yeah, clearly better, pretty much across the board, so... I'm really liking the lighting effects here. And we're definitely keeping that blade. That thing did work. Oh, what am I doing? Just because it doesn't say there's new stuff doesn't mean that we can't explore some of the bodies, so... Nothing compelling there. Right arm is definitely a priority for improvements, but it's all too heavy. I don't think we put any new legs in... So mass is slightly better, but the heat dissipation sucks. And that's definitely something that this mech needs. Okay, I feel like the Sleipnir really should be getting better versions of things. I think I took an assault rifle, which I never checked on them. But I am going to mess around with the Stalwart first. Again, just some really basic checks. Make sure that it's not... it's rate stabilizer, really? Surely we can do... Is this really the one that I want the... Nah. Like, a capacitor's good, but I don't have a lot of those, so I should probably put that in something a little more deserving. Okay, so the Stalwart's got a big Svalin shield. Yeah, that's not going to compare. We may have a better shotgun. Oh, sorry, this is the machine gun. So this doesn't quite deliver what I need. The Torrent, on the other hand, is significantly better. Well, it loses a little bit of range. But I think I can live with that. Okay, this is tempting. So this was the linebacker arm. This one, no, but how about that? How about the gavel? Okay. Yeah, too heavy for the gavel. The gavel's already running late. Yeah, like it's really tempting, but I don't think heat dissipation's the problem for this mech. So it's okay. Like in the case of that arm, it's like it's a good part. It's just trying to find the right mech. Okay, a bunch of better bodies, but the thing that makes this thing work is no, capacitor on this mech makes a heck of a lot of sense. So where was that assault rifle? Okay, so this burst doesn't do a lot for me. And I guess the rest of this is pretty standard. Like, the one thing I might be willing to switch out the assault rifle for would be a plasma repeater, but it doesn't really sell itself as a good alternative. So whatever assault rifle I looted wound up being a disappointment. Oh no, it's the Astra. Okay. I gotta avoid getting in close, but I think I can work with that. Let's make that a little more gray. Maybe in black and yellow? Yeah, I can work with that. Looks like the Sleipnir's already got a lot of really good parts. I mean, understandably so. The Sleipnir really feels like one of my hero mechs in all of my runs. So, okay, I'm gonna take a quick second here and mess around with sort of the remaining units. So, Sleipnir, Lance. Wait a minute, did I already look over the Lance? Oh no, I brought the linebacker this time, right? So I just want to take a second here to make sure that I'm not passing up opportunities to sort of improve the group. I just tend to notice that once some of this stuff sort of starts fading into memory, It's kind of hard for me to like to find the good upgrades. So man, that linebacker arm, like, it felt like it was a good part. It just seems to be that the arms that I've got on my units are pretty good already. So I will check out the lance. I think for the most part, we've got our mechs where we want them. I mean, we haven't looted that much extra stuff, so it's not like a world of surprise to find out that maybe this is we've kind of hit the limits of our improvements. Did I look at that shotgun already? Yeah, okay. That's definitely better. Even if it did apparently lower my rating for this mech. And then I guess the longbow is the last one that we haven't really messed with, so they kind of get the hand-me-downs right now, but then again, they're probably not going to see some action for a while. I don't dislike the mech, it's a little difficult. So I feel like heat dissipation's a deal breaker on this one, otherwise it'd be pretty good. We've got a compact launcher, the one-shot. It's really hard to see why I would switch to that, so we'll keep that. We do have some sniper rifles to check out, so okay. Better damage, but heavier and less concussive. Better range, though. This one's dominated. That's pretty spectacular. The duration is eternal, though. Yeah. I don't know, like, it's tough without firing this. You know what might be interesting, actually? If they had some sort of, like, firing range so you could actually try your weapons before taking them out in the field. But that feels like a really big solution to something that you just learned through gameplay. But yeah, like, just being able to sort of, like, the stats are really helpful. Like, for the most part, I have a pretty clear idea about what I'm getting and why I'm getting them. But then there's a couple of things where, like, I don't, like, conceptually, when I see this with its longer duration and I see like 2.5, I'm like, so does that like I take that as saying it takes half the turn for this thing to fire, in which case it's really not worth it. But yeah, I don't know, like, it's just I think the one thing I would say is that while I think like putting in something like a firing range is probably a blunt instrument and harder to do than it's really worth, I do think that there is some value in creating it so that you don't need to potentially risk really valuable things like pilots and parts to test out a piece of weaponry. Like, if you lose 1/4 of your team because the weapon turns out to be like really not your style, that's a kind of a tough pill to swallow. And at least as far as kind of how I've done it, I do tend to find like I do get stuck in my ways as far as different weapons are concerned. So I'm not quite sure how how it could be done, but I feel like a way of letting people actually be able to see how the weapons perform before using them would probably promote a little more experimentation. But I mean, on the other hand, I'm really only speaking to myself. Like, it might be that most people just don't have a problem jumping in with weird weapons. Okay, let's see what we can do. I might have to make this the last battle, which is a shame because I kind of wanted to take that base, but we'll see how long this one takes. And was it that they were the 70th and they crossed it out and they became the 4th? I'm not quite sure. Dropping in. Command is getting impatient. Let's get this over and done with. So is that 4 mechs? Ooh, Jesus, 4 mechs. And I'm assuming they're all terrifying. So we've got a marksman, a machine gun. Okay, marksman and some machine guns. So there's a couple things that I want to do. Like, from a pure... Like, so I'm not even going to worry about taking out the enemy right now. What I'm going to be thinking about is how am I going to handle sort of a superior force armed with some weapons that can really cause me trouble if I'm caught out in the open. And generally what this means is I need to take advantage of hills and I need to take advantage of buildings. But they're in the middle of the city, so the buildings aren't an option. Because it's because they're kind of after me and I may not necessarily want to take on this force, one thing I can try and do is just survive 3 turns and make sure that I move my way to the exit. But even then, in those 3 turns, what I do can make it so that everybody's converging to my escape area and they get clear shots on us. Or I create a situation in which they feel that they need to protect themselves, and as a result, I'm able to get away with a bit more. So, as always, we start by seeing who is sort of the target. So we've got 3 targets. 1 is the melee unit. 2 sort of hate on the Sleipnir. And it looks like there's a little bit of attention that's being paid to the linebacker, but not enough for me to panic. So one of the first things that I know is that Oscar is basically in a position to sort of move up and lay down some cover with the machine gun, or could if their mech wasn't so darn slow. Let's try and improve. Oh, Jesus. I'm not gonna have any heat left to fire the thing. Okay, so other than, beside the fact that clearly they are firing and creating tremendous inconvenience here, who do I want to target with this machine gun? Also while overheating. So I can target another machine gun. I could target the I think the marksman's pretty much an obvious choice here. So yeah, we get some heat damage at the end. I can slightly... you know what? I'm actually willing to take the heat damage to make sure that I got a clean end to the turn. So now that we know... now that I know what I have as sort of a free option, I can now build the rest of the turn around this position, right? One thing I would love to experiment with, like if I maybe do a jet like this. So while this does give the Sleipnir, like the Sleipnir winds up being in danger, but notice what happens, right? There's so many enemy units that wind up attacking their own units as a result of this action. And so that's kind of how I want to play it right now. As much as possible, I want to turn this stuff against the enemy. Another thing, I'm gonna try some really risky stuff with the melee unit. Ooh. That's actually some good news. So if I keep running like this... Okay, let me just get this straight. Okay, still safe. And then again, the question becomes, who do I want to target out of this stuff? I think here I'll just set up for the next turn. Let's not commit to anything quite yet. But so why is this a move that I still want to make while I'm moving on? Well, I'm protected by the buildings, but then I turn over, and all of a sudden, while all this is gone, oh nope, got a little too clever for my own good. So slightly adjust the position, so at least here they're sort of tagging their ally just at the end. I wonder if maybe I can do a little better. I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to do. Either way, though, try and take advantage of the situation and then move in. And then the final question is, what do I do with this unit? So at the moment, it's really inconvenient because this is a marksman, so I think it's going to be a short attack. The best, of course, would be if I can get them to attack their own unit. So I'm going to start by dashing and seeing if I can get there in time. You know what? I just might. Nope. Yeah, so my goal, what happens now is my goal becomes slightly different. You know, I get out of danger. Okay, so we wait this out. And then, actually, you know what? The dashing strategy is not the worst thing I could do right now. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I was creating that much danger for myself. So what I want to try and do here is I want to try and line these two up so that when I fire with my beam weapon, I can get a nice... actually, you know what? For now, I should just settle for the damage I can do. And let's focus on the stationary target. I really just need to peek over the hill. So it did seem like I got a warning. Okay. So my preference would have been to target the marksman, but this is the unit that's stationary. Of course, the other thing I would have liked would be to kind of carve a beam between the two of them, but that's clearly not happening. So in this case here, if we take damage, it should be very minor, and ideally we're going to put some decent damage on the enemy while they're simultaneously targeting their own units. So let's see how it goes. Question is whether or not the Sleipnir gets hit. So far we're only doing barrier damage, which is going to be recovered unless we sustain it, so... Okay, we broke through. Looks like the friendly fire's coming in as well. Looking good. That's a very respectable amount of damage that we just did on this unit. Unfortunately, it's all on its shield, so that's not ideal, but... Okay, so the interesting thing here is nobody seems to be attacking this unit until halfway through. And that's good, because this unit is incredibly slow. In fact, I'm probably going to have to take a bunch of heat damage just so that I can get like over the hill and into safety. But that again creates a situation where I can sort of move my units to my own advantage. So notice what happens here. So as a precaution, I'm going to set up a shield. But stacking my allies like this, so this unit's going to wind up shooting into his buddy's back. There's also something that's targeting the Sleipnir here. I'm really just kind of banking on this keeping me safe. I don't really have kind of a plan B for that. So then I suppose the next question is there something I can do to try and take advantage of the positioning? I think what I can try and do here... So again, the heat is atrocious. And... I mean, maybe it'll work. I was kind of hoping to get more than one target with the beam. I don't really think that's going to happen, but okay. So it looks like the melee unit's pretty much immediately a target. Now, one thing that's interesting here, right, is that this is the marksman rifle coming after them, so it may not actually succeed. The problem is that it does so much damage that I'm not willing to run that experiment. So I'm going to run around the corner here. I'm actually basically just going to run in a big circle. Oh! Fell into their trap. Okay, well there's still a way I can do this, so... Hit them there. And then make sure that the enemy unit is in the way for the escape. Of course, if I knock them fully out of the way, my melee unit's in trouble. But at this point, I think that's a risk I have to take. So this is going to involve quite a bit more damage on us this turn, I think. Oh my god, look at that! So much damage. I definitely need to be a lot more careful with how I move this thing. No friendly fire yet. I'm a little disappointed by that. Okay, the shield's not exactly the sort of thing we want to take out here, but... Oop, I'm hitting my own unit. That's not good. So this is now where we move forward. One, it gets us out of the beam, which is good. Okay, so we are putting some damage here. And the hope here is that the marksman's going to hit their own unit. I was under the impression I was not in range for these attacks, so I'm definitely taking quite a bit more than I thought I was going to. Oh, that's glorious. We just took that that unit out with their own fire. You gotta feel good about that. Okay, so it looks like they still want a piece of the melee unit. So I have a couple of options here. One, I can just sort of pursue. I can pursue sort of the enemy units as they are. Alternatively, uh-oh. I need to see what's going on. How you doing, Red Hulk? Apparently a new version of Dropbox is installing? Is that really what's killing my computer? Sorry about that. Anyways, Red Hulk, also known as the People's Hulk. How you doing? I can't remember if you've seen me play Phantom Brigade. This game is awesome if you haven't played it. Okay. It's specifically awesome if you haven't played it. It's the best game ever. Okay. Again, that's heat damage, but I'll take that over the alternative. Oh man, that's like right when they're coming to attack me. Well, I already recklessly risked this unit once. Okay, so this guy's kind of cooking already. All right, they're going for a... Oh, it's an SMG. Ah! I bet this thing still does a ton of damage, though. Yeah, 880, so I either need to throw up that shield or I need to get into a better hiding spot. Okay, so walk around. Definitely toss up the shield. Now, how is this thing for weight? Oh, this is a teeny tiny guy. So what we do next is walk into them and laugh. Okay. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. So who hates... So it looks like all the hate is going on the Sleipnir this time, which potentially works to my favor. So this unit's ejecting. So I mean, in a crazy world, the Sleipnir runs all the way around the edge of the map, and you know, they do friendly fire on this unit. I suppose one thing I could potentially try would be to run my, like, instead of risking this marksman shot, I run the melee unit sort of to somewhere around here and let the marks. But the thing is that it, like, it, if I get it wrong, then I potentially lose the unit. So you doing good? You haven't seen me play it. Just saw another guy playing it yesterday. You're not talking about Azure Wind, are you? Because I'm pretty sure he's played that before. Sorry, I know I'm like turning into the Azure Wind fan hour, but I actually quite like him, and it was really exciting to... Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing already. It was Azure Wind. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he actually found me through BattleTech, and he's definitely quite a bit more established as a streamer. Like, he's incredibly good at XCOM, and so he's definitely built a really good channel around that. But again, between XCOM and then now Phantom Brigade, and I definitely... I don't know if you'd heard, like, he definitely mentioned this cast a couple of times, so I will have a very small claim to his fame by saying apparently I was the one to show him the way. But yeah, no, he's a fantastic streamer. So one thing that's really different from what Azure was doing doing yesterday is that the way I'm playing this is that I've taken the same squad, and I think he's a great XCOM streamer. Like, I like, if what you're saying is like in terms of skill level, I mean, I have no strong feelings one way or the other. But I mean, as far as a broadcaster is concerned, I think he's incredibly entertaining. But yeah, the biggest difference with what I'm doing compared to what he's doing is the difference between the two is that I did this run, and what I decided to do is with my squad, I would always go to the highest level province that was adjacent to where I just liberated. So for instance, I've got a squad that's somewhere between level 10 to level 12 against a specific elite hit squad at level 18. So a lot of what we're focusing on here, like I've got a bunch of weapons that do a ton of concussive damage, and if you were noticing before, like it basically doesn't do anything. I can't like I really can't take out the pilot that way. So what we've been relying on is just trying to get the enemy units to take out their own people. But I think we're in a decent place. I do need to work on my heat dissipation on this melee unit, but that's not going to be fixed here. So let's see how this goes. I do want to see what happens when we laugh and barrel over this guy, but actually, sorry, let me just double check here, because right, the Sleipnir's being attacked, so we can probably get a little snug to the. In fact, if I run around the edge here, so I'm not too worried about this unit. This unit's going to be ejecting. Oh man, can I really... So what I'm trying to do here is just like have this thing open itself up. I can't believe I got away with this. Then again, the Sleipnir is like ridiculously fast, so... Yes, there's a little window in which they can be targeted, but we're kind of running perpendicular to its firing line, so it's very unlikely we're going to get hit, and it's a machine gun, so like a single bullet from a machine gun's not going to do a ton of damage. But like, notice what we're doing here, right? We're turning that shield away from us, so it's pure exposure to its primary weapon. So if nothing else, you know, we're just eliminating another source of threat. That would mean there's only one more unit with a primary weapon on the field. So let's see how it goes. So yeah, not that much damage. Good for heat. So I do want to see what the retaliation is like. Like a point-blank marksman shot shouldn't do that much damage. Uh, 50% concussion is something I gotta worry about. Eee. How many times does this thing fire? That definitely had me worried for a second. It's a stationary target, dude. You should be hitting all of those. Sorry, I'm just a little late. So they count as crashing. Yeah, we're still braced, so we get a chance to make them sad. So the best follow-up, if I can pull it off, is going to be to get my melee guy to come in and add some concussive. So nothing touched the Sleipnir. Oh man, only 17? I don't think that's going to work. Commander of the base is circled around to the perimeter. We're ready to pick the squad up if needed. The enemy will hold the site if you do so. Okay, so first thing we got to do is see who they're targeting. So both are going after the melee unit. So first one is something that's guaranteed to miss. Second one will hit unless I do something to stop it. So I guess the first question I have is, with my melee unit, am I actually going to be able to get away? So I got to make sure that I'm staying on the straight and narrow. So the big thing I want to try and do is basically the same nonsense I did last time, right? So I'm taking a big risk doing it, but the beauty of it is that it's actually their own unit that's in the range. So I'm gonna do a slightly different move here. I kind of want to be. I want my movement to stop. Not quite. Basically, I want my movement to stop in like that perfect direct line. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. So this is great for me here, right? Because that's kind of killing two birds with one stone. I'm definitely putting this unit at risk, but I'm putting them at risk in a much more calculated way. So first of all, actually, that is not nearly as spot on as I thought it was. So I am going to finesse this. Again, I'm playing with one of my favorite units' lives here, so... God, that is a hard target to... Okay, that's about as close as I'm gonna get it. But yeah, so in addition to the risk here is, so number one, I've stopped moving before the attack happens, right? So this should be going directly into the enemy's back. Number two, I'm out of the optimal range for this. So even if the hits do land, which again, sort of a contestable position, kind of a contestable claim, but it's, you know, it's possible. What's going to be happening is I'm not going to be in as bad as a position as I would have been when they're sort of like doing their main attack. So what I need to ask now is, what do I want to do with the opportunities that I've opened for myself? I think I'm already good where... with where the Sleipnir is. In fact, I think the Sleipnir might have an opportunity. It's not a great one, so maybe... it's a little dicey, but... it is a chance to make the enemy sad, so... I mean, theoretically, I can... Oh, that's right, I got the new gun, so... I can probably fire this thing for days. Not exactly, but... but it does make sure that I have enough heat for... Actually, what it does is I've got enough heat left over here. Is there any benefit to changing? Well, it doesn't matter because their position's not going to be any different. I will feel a little comfortable going a bit deeper into the hill, though, so that's just that's my sanity advantage here. So I will wait out the shot. I mean, I might as well make the most of that of the machine gun. What I really got to do here is set up for the sniper to arrive. And again, ideally clear the hill, or at the very least use the hill to my advantage. Man. That's as good as I'm gonna get, I suppose. Well, no, you know what? Let's just do it right. So of course I run the risk here that they're gonna reply with a sniper shot, but they are running into the next turn a little bit, so... Okay, so then the question becomes, what do I do with the laser? So in one sense, like, so to a certain extent here, I get like half a turn free while they're picking themselves up. It's unlikely I'm going to be able to demolish them, and one of the biggest problems here is actually, it may not be as bad as I think it is, but I think I have a better move. So if I go around the edge here, and I wait it out, so they try and shoot me through the building, so that doesn't do anything at all. In the meantime, there's this stationary target. The only thing that's not great is the shields in the way. Yeah, but no, the reason I'm focusing this down is that if you've noticed, we've had focused fire on the enemy targets and it doesn't do a whole lot to them. So I kind of need to make sure that I'm keeping the damage consistent, especially for the ones that have barriers. So this thing isn't that much of a threat to me on its own, and we can deal with it next time. We've already got the Sleipnir that's taking the opportunity, so I think it's better to take pieces off the board. I'm already kind of dispersed in terms of the attacks that I'm doing, but it's it's mostly just the position I've been given. Okay, that's quite a bit more concussive damage than I thought was going to happen. Yeah, we made the right call by not attacking that thing. 75 barrier damage, it's just not worth it. Right, there isn't going to be a proper attack here, so... So sort of as anticipated, most of that's going into the shield, but it's a free attack anyway. Uh-oh. That wound up going over the mech. The game betrayed me. Alright, so I'm a little bit of trouble there. That's fine. I mean, like I said, the safety valve there was the distance. So let's see what everybody's up to. So they're gonna keep trying to make me sad. Actually, the fact that they're on high makes that a little more dangerous than it normally would be. So I will stick up the shield for this. So a ram isn't necessarily an option in this case because just like I'm really slow. The one thing I could try and do would be like to move up like this, but the problem is like what do I do to take out this enemy, right? If I just let him lie down on the hill, that's like taking up resources for something. Like it just doesn't really get me a whole lot for what I give up to do it. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to make sure that I don't take too much damage from its sidearm. Again, like these are level 18 enemies, so they're still going to do they're still going to hurt. But what I do get to do is I get to sort of maneuver my people around to try and take advantage of the situation and where people are going. Oh, it's so cool that you know this game so well, Red Hulk. How many hours have you played? Oh, so maybe I know these things. Can I just like play the game? Okay, so the marksman's going to be a huge problem here. My one possible saving grace is to just say, you know what, trying to go for the like I mean, so I'll still get like a little bit of damage in on this. I can complete. Actually, no, I don't think I can. So one, I'll maybe try and show like how I'll try and show the different ways I can handle it. So option number one, I hop off the hill. They're blocked. Now this does open up the possibility of a machine gun, but it's not in an optimal range. So actually the one thing that does make this attractive is the fact that it's straight into the back. But his concussion's not high enough to make that worthwhile. So that's the I don't want to take damage solution. The I'm accepting that I'm in a bad spot solution is we say kind of nuts to the stability of the machine gun. So most of this stuff goes wide. So far they've only taken barrier damage, so it's not like a huge loss. And what we do here is we collide with them. Now the drawback is that these are the same weight class. The one thing that I do have the benefit from is the shield going up, which at least as far as my understanding of the game from an earlier time, having the bracing is equivalent to getting another level on your weight class. So I should win this, and it should cause the sniper to fall. Oh, hang on. I'm thinking about this the wrong way, because this is a handgun shooting at me for 492 damage. 492 damage on a full volley is not the thing that you panic about. I do need to put the shield up for it. For the simple reason that it's going to... Actually, I gotta put the shield up in a slightly different way. So basically, I'll be covered for the duration of the attack. Yeah, so if they were shooting at me with a sniper rifle, 100% I want to clear that out. Instead, I'm going to continue to make them sad with my machine gun. So my Sleipnir's kind of suppressed in its current position. It would be nice if I had an opportunity to open up on this unit after it gets hit with the melee, but I think that's a little too much to hope for. So my other alternative is to hop up on the hill, get a cheeky pistol shot, and then run back down again. I can't believe I'm getting away with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well... Keep them at the edge. They may still try and, hit me through here. But if they don't, that means that I'm going to be able to run out the corner and hit them in the back. So the thing that I don't like about... this is that I'm breaking sort of that self-imposed rule of like spreading out or not spreading out the damage. The one thing that I'd love to try and do is to somehow get this beam weapon on the field. The problem is that I think... Wait, am I really dodging those houses? Oh my god, that's amazing. I'm a little suspicious of the fact that it says that I'm protected here. So the dotted line indicates that. But we are getting a melee attack in, so I suppose I should trust the game on that. I probably want to clear the SMG though. Oh well, if I do that, I'm gonna get hit by the beam, right? Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not the next target. Okay, so that is a stronger turn overall. So, I mean, we'll probably wind up doing some damage, particularly when they've got our back turned to us. But this is the real target, especially because it's keeping my Sleipnir down so much. And unlike the last time we hit it with the beam, it's not soaking it all up with the shield. So let's see how the turn goes. Ouch. So concussion, and we lost the right arm off of that. I'm claiming a little bit of shenanigans because the game did give the dotted line, and it was clearly going over the mech's head, but that's kind of on me for not checking it. Most of that stuff I checked pretty carefully, so... We're down a quarter of the team, and we're going to have to give up some scrap. But we do have replacement pilots, so it's not as bad as like outright losing the unit. Okay. I genuinely wasn't sure if that was going to work. And, right, we took out their legs, so... No, that's totally hitting the... Alright, the game lied to me twice! But we took out the... We took out the sniper, which was one of the biggest headaches. So, we're in a little trouble. I do need to... Like, the thing is that a lot of my units are in a compromised position, and to me, losing equipment is not as bad as losing pilots, but it is something that keeps me from getting stronger. Like, one of the advantages of us heading out to these other regions and doing what we're doing is we level our squad up so much faster. So, okay, so this is what I was originally going to do. The thing that doesn't work for me on this is that I actually want the Sleipnir to help out with the SMG. Because, like, the thing is that I'm down to 433 shield, and I need that also to protect me from the secondary fire. And this guy's basically at full health. So, with the exception of the missing arm, so essentially what I want to try and do is do as much damage to the left-hand side. I'm lucky in the sense that they're not doing anything this turn. I'm actually not sure why. But the thing is like, I need a helper, because this thing is not going to stay put and let me beam it to death. And I can't afford to just keep ramming it the whole time, because it's down to 443. If you look at it, this, like, even just as far as the model is concerned, like, it just looks shredded. So, like, this just makes logical sense. This is a slow-moving unit. There's really no other target for it. So basically, like, option number one, I try and do a pot shot, like, you no longer use the game sightlines UI after an unfortunate incident with an enemy marksman and a rare marksman rival. I'm sorry to hear that, slow move. I will say they have improved them. So it used to be that the lines would sort of go from the base. Actually, I don't know. I think they'd go from the center of the model to the base of the model. Whereas now I think they are a little more, I think they go like center to center. But, and like, again, I kind of should have known better, right? So, like, an enemy that is firing from here to here, like, that's like waist deep. Like, that's definitely not something that you would normally expect to be hitting. But, I was working with the information I was given as well. So, it's enough blame to go around. Okay, so we've got the, but yeah, so I was going to say, like, one of the things that I could do is say, it's like, okay, well, this is the focus of our anger, so we're going to, just sort of run back and fire. And then what I could do with the Sleipnir is sort of move around the edge like this. And the problem with this approach is that it turns the machine gun on the stalwart, which is not what I want to do. So even though this isn't an ideal move for me, I will take the shot that I can. So the thing is, I just basically need to be on the other side of the hill when the enemy shows up. So again, if I can get the shot as early as possible. Okay, so I will wait to complete that shot, and then what I'm going to do is just run down the edge. So my preference would have been to sort of head directly like this, The catch is if I do that, I'm wide in the open, they get shots on my back. So always using the terrain and the buildings for safety. And of course the shot's done by the time that... So I don't think there's a whole lot of sense in trying... there might be an opening. It's like a no-risk proposition, right? Can I do it a little earlier? Can I do it immediately after? So again, the chances of this actually delivering anything meaningful is pretty slim, but I'll take the opportunities I'm given. And then this is not the fastest moving unit, but we do have the opportunity to beam it down, so, and I do also have the chance to sort of sneak around the corner if things get tricky. So we only have 3 units. Let's watch the magic. Oh wow, that did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Okay, right arm down. That thing's not going to be bothering us anymore. Oh, they woke up! So under normal circumstances, I would love to ram this thing, right? Not an option, so I am going to set up my shield. I might lose the shield, but that's the cost of risky plays. And I think at this point I just kind of go around the side of the field. So again, it'd be nice to do the shots, but I don't have a clean one. So what I do instead is I get my faster moving Sleipnir. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that'll work, but... So then the last thing is I can sort of let my lumbering stalwart come in and fill in the blanks. So the SMG is a pretty short-range weapon, so even if they do want to kind of come in and cause me trouble, this is a fresh shield. Obviously, on its own, like a 3-on-1 fight has a pretty clear outcome. But this, you know, this kind of seals the deal for me. So let's lock it in. Oh wow, they didn't get anything. I probably should have set up the shield there, but I mean, he survived this turn. I wasn't expecting that, but he's going to eject, so I'm going to mess up his aim, because if we can get the scrap, so much the better. Well, I did my best. So of course we had the option of escaping, but we fight, we don't flight. Okay, so first thing I want to do is recover the lost material. So that's the Nox and that beautiful saber. My usual routine is to also grab any of the rare gear. Okay, so if I do that, I have to give up something. So there's already a bean arm. Actually, we've got a few of them. So we're still 10 over. Well, I mean, I just don't bring it, and then we don't scrap anything because we already have a pretty good inventory anyway. So, thing about... Oh, it's a convoy. It's not a patrol, though. So I am slightly curious... They sent out a squad, huh? I think we should just back off for a little while. Okay, this is a little... Okay, but I did. I do got to call it here though. I actually have 40 minutes. I need to get something done before midnight, and I've only got 40 minutes to do it now. And it has been 3 hours and 40 minutes, so it's already an extended time with Phantom Brigade. But I love this game so much. So I'm definitely enjoying the new patch. The overworld stuff, it feels like to a certain extent, it feels quite small. Like each individual component seems like a fairly simple change. But most of the stuff, like, you can really see how big of a difference the changes to the overworld made by the fact that most of the battles that we fought this time around were actually driven by the fact that there's this new overworld element, and that, you know, we had to deal with the patrol. Actually, there is one other thing I want to take a look at, which is Tango's. I think Tango's been. No, that can't be right. 3 combat encounters? This game's full of lies. But that's fine. We don't, you know, we just, the numbers have reset, so they can finally get a break. We can bring the new ones in. But yeah, no, I think, if you had just listed them to me on a document like the patch notes, I wouldn't have said that the overworld changes were, like, groundbreaking. And yet, when you think about it, everything that we've done in this particular session has largely been driven by the changes that came to the overworld, like whether or not we had to creep around in the stealth or whether or not we got caught by one of the patrols. So it's a really impressive, like, this is the first time that there's been an update kind of dedicated to the overworld, I think. Or maybe it's the second? I don't know. Anyways, like, this really does feel like a much more substantial change than I sort of thought from the... from just kind of reading it on its own. But I think you all kind of know I already like the game. So, thank you all for joining me. I'll probably be doing more Phantom Brigade next Wednesday. On Friday, I will be streaming. We'll be doing Darkest Dungeon, another Vancouver game. Although not one that I got a key for. That was actually another really fun one. So the Canadian games have been, like, really killing it for the last couple of ones. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm gonna find somebody to host. I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I need to make sure that they're still live. Aw, nuts. I thought Azurewin might still be streaming. Oh well, okay. We still get a chance to host some other people. There's actually quite a few people streaming tonight who sometimes hang out in the channel. So Uncle Cranky's doing Bloodborne, Brace Yourself Games is doing Crypt of the Necrodancer, Twitch plays Crypt of the Necrodancer, Sniper Guy Gaming's playing Final Fantasy 15, Night Valian's playing Blasphemous. It is D-Pain is playing Dubium. But I'm gonna pass it off to Night Valian again. I know some of you kind of have some others on those lists that you might want to check out, but I am intrigued by Blasphemous. I haven't really seen that much of it other than when Night Valian's been playing it. And he did hang out and say hi, so that's always nice. I really thought I was going to be playing Into the Breach. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Please do stick around for Mr. Valian and his hello. And for those of you only here for Phantom Brigade, I will see you in a week. Until then.